The Fantasy Fanatics podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.
Winners.
I did it. I won. Yes.
Losers.
I never win anything.
All right, welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I am Ryan Stuprich. Ryan Risky is out today, as is Andrew Freeman, so I'm doing the show solo today. We're going until 3 o'clock only today because not much to talk about in the second hour by myself, but we're going to recap Week 8, NFL Week 8, how we did on our show, and then we'll talk about Week 9, and I have all the picks right here, so no need to worry about that. So let's start with NFL Week 8. NFL Week 8, the Thursday night game was the Chargers at the Broncos. Andrew picked the Broncos. Me and Ryan Risky picked San Diego. Andrew got a point there as the Broncos won. Detroit and Atlanta, that game was played in London. We all picked Detroit. Detroit ended up squeaking out a win, controversially, but nonetheless a win. Minnesota and Tampa Bay. Andrew and Ryan Risky picked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I picked Minnesota, and boy did I get lucky, because Minnesota won in overtime on a fumble recovery. The Buffalo Bills went to the New York Jets. We all picked Buffalo. Pretty easy, as Buffalo creamed them. Chicago and New England. For some reason, myself and Ryan Risky had too much faith in our hometown team, and we picked the Bears. Andrew picked the correct pick, which was the New England Patriots. Seattle and Carolina. We all picked Seattle. Seattle didn't. Seattle had a little bit of an issue, but they did win. Miami and Jacksonville. We all picked Miami. Miami won. Baltimore and Cincinnati. Now, Andrew and Ryan Risky picked Baltimore. I picked Cincinnati, and Cincinnati ended up having a late drive at the end of the game, and they ended up winning, so I got a point there. Houston and Tennessee. We all picked Houston correctly. Let's see, St. Louis and Kansas City. We all picked Kansas City. That wasn't an issue. Philadelphia and Arizona. Now, this was a tough game to pick, but Ryan Risky picked Philadelphia. Andrew and I picked Arizona. Arizona won. Indiana and Pittsburgh. We all picked the Indianapolis Colts. They ended up winning. Oakland and Cleveland. For some reason, Andrew picked Oakland in an upset, even though both teams are pretty bad. But it's an upset, and Cleveland ended up winning. They're 4-3 now, by the way. So me and Ryan Risky got points there. Green Bay and New Orleans. Andrew picked Green Bay, but me and Risky picked the risky pick of picking the Saints, and the Saints won in their dome at home, so we got points there. And then we all picked Dallas over Washington. We all know what happened there. Washington won in overtime. So we got that one wrong, but so did 98% of the other people in the world. Okay. It is time for NFL Week 9 picks. The Thursday night game, New Orleans and Carolina. We all picked the Saints, and the Saints won. So we all currently, going into Sunday, we will all be tied 1-1 as far as we all picked that game correct. Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Andrew is going with Tampa Bay. Ryan Risky and I are going with Cleveland. Can Cleveland be 5-3? Wouldn't that be something? Arizona and Dallas. We have the Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys here. Ryan Risky and I are going with Arizona. Andrew, who picked Arizona last week, is going to go with Dallas at home. So we'll see what happens there. Philadelphia and Houston. We are all going with Philadelphia over Houston, although I would not be surprised if Houston won. Houston's one of those surprising teams that when you think they're out of it, they seem to come back a little bit, and they do pretty well. New York Jets at Kansas City. That's, as you can guess, a clean sweep. We're all picking Kansas City. Jacksonville and Cincinnati. We are all going with Cincinnati at home. San Diego versus Miami. We're all going with San Diego. But this one's going to be tough. Don't be surprised, mark my words here, if Miami comes up and wins that. Washington versus Minnesota. Now, I really wanted to go with Washington, but then I thought they just beat the Cowboys in upset fashion. They can't do it again, even though beating Minnesota wouldn't necessarily be an upset. I think Minnesota's a better home team than road team. I'm going to take Minnesota. So is Ryan Risky. Andrew Freeman is going with the Washington Redskins. St. Louis at San Francisco. We're all going with the 49ers, as much as it pains Ryan Risky. He doesn't like the 49ers. But yeah, we're all going with the 49ers. That's a pretty easy pick. Denver at the Patriots. I am going with the Patriots along with Andrew. And Ryan Risky's taking the Broncos. That's going to be Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. It doesn't get much better than that as far as Hall of Fame quarterbacks are concerned. Oakland at Seattle. We're all taking Seattle. Seattle's home. I think they're finally going to start to get it together in the second half. I wouldn't expect that many more losses from the Seahawks. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. This is the Sunday night game. NFC North showdown. They're both tied as well. Baltimore's been sliding a little bit lately. Pittsburgh's definitely been trending up. I'm going to take the Steelers as well as Ryan, Risky, and Andrew are also taking them. And then the Monday night game, which is better than people may think, Indianapolis versus the New York Giants. The Giants seem to play well in primetime a lot. I'm taking, or actually all of us are taking the Colts. I'm taking the Colts clearly because I have 3 fantasy players on a team. I have Dwayne Allen, Andrew Luck, my quarterback, of course, and then Adam Vinatieri, my kicker. So I'm going with the Colts. Everyone else is going with the Colts as well. So those are the picks. And I want to thank you for joining me for this hour of Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I went solo today. Ryan Risky and Andrew Freeman were both out for other obligations. Ryan Risky's going to the Bulls-Cavs game tonight, that lucky guy. And Andrew Freeman had to work. He's the floor director at a TV station in Rockford. So obviously that he had to do some spooky Halloween stuff there. So, happy Halloween to everybody if you care. And, this has been Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. We will be back next Friday. We will have a better, longer show as we will have 2 co-hosts with me to go through everything. So, thanks for joining me, and have a good Halloween. The Fantasy Fanatics Podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.